What's up? How y'all doing? It's your boy TOJ. I am live. So I want to discuss what's going on with the city of New Orleans. New Orleans just ain't safe. I hate that what's happening is happening, but a realtor went on Facebook Live. Facebook Market to sell his dirt bike, and he met somebody at an apartment complex, and they ended up killing this dude for his dirt bike. And nobody couldn't tell what happened because like his friends was trying to see what's the status. Did you sell the bike? And come to find out, a 20-year-old confessed to killing him. He and I hear these stories all the time about Facebook, where you buy something off of Facebook and you go to meet the person in a parking lot or something, you end up getting robbed or killed for the item you're going to go sell. And I try my best to avoid anything to do with Facebook Market. But New Orleans, it's just got worse ever since the virus, man. Like, two kids got shot on Bourbon Street a couple of nights ago, 14 years old, 14 and 15 years old. And come to find out, a girl from Florida did it. So, you can really tell where these people come from that actually bring all this drama to the city. But here's the interesting thing: crime, like this rampant, has always been a problem in the city. Ever since they had this shit called Teen Summit a long time ago, where Usher and a couple of rappers would come like to the Superdome, and you can sit there and you can talk to some of the let's see. Oh, low key, what up, boy? Indigenous Warrior, what's good, family? Yeah, so I'm looking at what happened with Teen Summit was that Q93 used to have some of these entertainers would come to the Superdome, and there'll be like a panel. Some of the police enforcement will be there, some counselors, and they're like MTV style. They would talk about basically teen pregnancy, conflict resolution, and I think once that stopped, you seen a trend of teenagers out of control, misguided, and they just walking aimless on Canal Street. Canal Street, if you haven't been to New Orleans, is like one of the worst. Like, the street is scattered bad because certain parts of Canal Street, close to Bourbon Street, it's on and popping. You can't walk nowhere near Canal Street and Bourbon Street without bumping somebody and you almost getting shot just for hitting somebody in the elbow. Hip Hop Summit, yeah, remember that shit? The Hip Hop Summit. I lived there my whole life. I knew it was gonna get bad. Indigenous. What part of where you living at now? You still in the city, or you moved somewhere else? I live in Metairie, which is basically 10 minutes from New Orleans. Like, I live right on the border of Holly Grove and New Orleans. But I mean, I grew up in the city, But New Orleans, man, it's just getting worse, dude. Like, a woman about 3 weeks ago, there was an older black chick bringing her mama something to eat, and somebody tried to carjack her and killed her. You in Houston now? Yeah, my brother is in Missouri City. How y'all deal with the storm out there? Y'all got with the freeze. You lost power too? In the Calio. See, I grew up in Holly Grove off of Earhart. But but yeah, man. So get back to what I was saying. So a dude shot this woman trying to carjack her, and the way they fucked up was the lady left her car running and took the groceries and ran to the front door of her mama house to get mama the groceries and some knuckleheads for 6 days. God damn, in hot water. And they shot her and killed her. And the boy daddy, the trigger man, his daddy had to actually turn him in. And it's a fucked up situation, bro. You out there, you losing money, you ain't got no job. Some of these businesses are going belly up because of the coronavirus, and you got your son out there carjacking people. Oh, what's up, Donna? Yeah, so now how y'all making out in New York with your nasty governor? Andrew Cuomo out there getting dirty. I don't know what's up with that shit, man. I seen I was gonna do a video about that, but I'm just too busy down here dealing with these badass kids. But man, like the governor in New York, man, got an issue. He got issues, bro. And the sad thing about it, it's hard to tell if these girls are telling the truth or not. But looking at how Andrew Cuomo carry himself, I can see him being a flirtatious dude. Even he got the greaseball thing going with the greasy hair. You know, he dapper, well dressed or whatever. So I can see that happening. But yeah. So get back to the crime in the city. Is just that the guy had 2 kids, and his life is over with. And more importantly, if y'all saw the video that I did, I live 5 minutes from the gun shop that got shot up. And still to this very day, the brother of the guy who walked in the gun shop, he said he ain't got no clue. Oh, you like that greaseball, huh? Andrew Cuomo got that greaseball look about him, right? That gabagoo, that old Soprano shit when you see the old sausage. But I used to like watching the Andrew Cuomo the daily updates because he was just so informative. You know what I'm saying? He's well articulate, and he had his little PowerPoint presentations. And I think, truth be told, I think this got something to do. Me too. I like. Thank you, Donna. You beat me to it. I was about to say the exact same thing. I think Trump got something to do with that shit. In my personal opinion, you beat me to it. I think what's going to end up happening. Remember when Cuomo was giving his updates? A lot of folks was picking with him and saying, "You ought to run for president. You ought to run for president." And him and Trump both got into like a little stupid beef where Trump was like, "Well, I ought to not send you no help, no PPE, no mask, no ventilators," and it went south after that. So I'm starting to believe that Donald Trump got a lot to do with that, because the GOP today came out with I think it was yesterday. They had a press conference where the GOP in New York brought up they call it an impeachment resolution. But here's the thing. I don't know the constitutional requirements to get this dude not indicted, to get him impeached. I've seen a president being impeached 2 times. I've seen Bill Clinton was impeached, but he never stepped down. Nixon got impeached, but he did leave. So who knows? It's a hard thing to watch. I've been watching what's been going on with the George Floyd case, and I think they may have picked the jury finally, and it's gonna be a hard case to watch. You know what I'm saying? But get back to the point I was making earlier. That's my gun range. The gun range that got shot up that same day. I was supposed to go meet my brother, and come to find out, my mama, had called me and said, "Rico, you seen the news?" I said, "No, I don't watch the news. I'm on Facebook all the time." I said, "Well, yeah, man. The gun shop by your house, they shot the gun shop. They shot the damn gun shop up. How the hell you go to the fucking gun range and shoot up the gun range?" But come to find out, it seemed that the dude with the gun had an extended clip, and they told him, "Don't bring the gun in the store with the clip in the gun. Take the clip." Even I know that. Take the clip out the gun. Now, the older brother was already in there with his 2 kids, just, looking at holsters or whatever. And some kind of way, they escorted the dude off the property. And just when it looked like he was about to walk out the door, he turned back and started shooting all inside the place. And of course, in this gun store, it's a Trump gun store. Everybody got the trigger the safety off. They watch you like a hawk. Which, I mean, obviously I don't really, "Oh, Baba, what's up?" Man, Baba, was that you that passed me up on a bicycle yesterday? I swear to God, I seen you on a bicycle pass me up in the French Quarter. And but I didn't say nothing. I couldn't tell if it was you or not. Yeah, complex. I'll say the same thing too. My gun range where I live at, the minute you walk in the door, they paranoid. And mind you, I live in Trump country basically, and right off the airline highway going to the airport. When you go in that gun range, there's one dude by the door, and they got one dude who just faced the door on the opposite side of the store. And the store is shaped like the letter U. So when you walk in the store, you can't just walk in the store, you know what I'm saying, now in the store with your gun on your hip. Now, if you go in there to the gun range, your gun got to be in a bag. It can't be on your hip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, it's the real deal down here, man. Like they ain't fucking around. Okay, I didn't think that was you. Passed me up. Oh, I knew you would have stopped. But yeah. So like I said, so they had shut the gun store down for a couple of days, and they had a couple of memorials. You know, they put candles out there and everything. So a lady got killed. Like somebody's grandma got killed, and I think that's that. I've been seeing a lot of that lately in the city down here, in the gun range where I'm at. They got some Patti LaBelle's in that bitch. They got some Medeas and some Patti LaBelle's in that, man. They can shoot their ass. It's funny, man. When you go up in the gun range, you think you're gonna see like all these rednecks, but it's full of old black ladies. Black women are scared, and I don't blame them. The black women down here in New Orleans will fuck you up. All the Democratic governors went against Trump. Yeah, that's true. I said the same thing too. I'm looking at what's going on down here. Our governor is kind of on the fence. Like Bell Edwards, I think the reason our governor is kind of sort of slightly doing good because he signed that blue alert. That blue alert shit where you can't tell the police you can't resist arrest. So he kind of on a fence. We got like a kind of conservative Democrat type of dude for a governor down here, and it's really hard to tell if he a rhino. You are so correct, shaking my dad. But yeah, so yeah, down here, man. Like I was saying, one of my good friends, he patrolled a French Quarter where I paint at, and he was telling me, young dude, I think Withersby got to be 35 years old. I'm 47, he's 35, and Withersby told me he live in Slidell, and Slidell is like maybe 45 minutes from New Orleans, and a lot of the New Orleans police, NOPD, don't have to live in New Orleans to be on the force. Back when Mark Morial was the mayor, they had something called a residency requirement, where for you to be in NOPD, you had to live in the city of New Orleans. This dude told me that even with his cop car, he pumped gas with his gun, with his hand on his gun. It's the Wild Wild West out here, y'all. I mean, it ain't safe, it ain't fun. Like, I mean, it ain't worth the free gumbo, it ain't worth the crawfish, it ain't worth none of that shit, bro. It's New Orleans is just out of control, and it's not even like even me. I'll leave my job, my art studio. I'll leave at 3:00 in the evening. I don't want to stand there. Them little boys with the little tap dancing dudes with the tap dancing thing, the little boys with the buckets, playing the drum for the tips. All them kids are roaming the French Quarter unattended. And they always get in some kind of trouble. You can't tell them to, like to relax. You can't tell them to cool it. The musicians, they're not making that much money either. So I've been seeing a lot of the street performers. They got beef going on. As crazy as it seems, you would assume that all these dudes are friends with each other, but they're really not. It's right, y'all. Hit that like button, man. So it's a situation where the police chief is at his wit's end. And he was on the news after them girls, I think in Lafayette or Shreveport, stabbed that little girl in Walmart and killed her. The police chief said, look here, we kind of know who the girls are. They already arrested, but we can't arrest ourselves out this problem. We can't, because these are daughters. These girls are going straight to female prison, or women's prison, and they're going to be charged as adults. And it doesn't matter how many of these girls we arrest or how many kids we arrest, we as police see the same shit over and over and over and over, and it don't ever stop. Now, the police chief asked the public for some information. He said, look here, I'm looking to have an open door policy. If you're a community organizer, a civic leader, and you got some solutions, please let me know. And police chief do this shit all the time, and they don't really want the real answers, to be honest with y'all. A lot of police chiefs, I feel, who all came before this dude, do the exact same dog and pony showing. They go to a crime scene, a baby gets killed by a straight bullet. They're on TV crying with the family. He got his bottom lip hanging. Oh man, I don't know what to do, y'all. I'm just saying. Here's the problem. The solution is easy. We always have a round table on WBOK. Now, WBOK down here in New Orleans is our black radio station. And I done begged, I offered to pay money, but they will not put me on the round table because they know if I get on there, I'm gonna call it like I see it. Truth of the matter is, all we need is for black men to have a black male support group. The churches sit empty 6 days a week. It's always the power is on. You got a meeting room in the back. All you gotta do is say, look here, you young, you got issues, you want to vent your frustrations, come chop it up for a couple of hours, a week. We got that for you. They don't want to do that. I done told the police chief, it's super easy, bro. Your door got to be open. Where I live at, we have a neighborhood association. We meet every Wednesday of the month. You know what I'm saying? Now, some dudes can talk their problem out, but the problem is, in the hood, it seems like you're a punk if you rather talk it out than fight it out. If you rather talk it out than shoot it out. And the sad thing about it is the girls endorse this. As a man, I can tell you, men follow what women do. It's a trend. For example, if girls don't like dudes with their pants sagging, they wouldn't do it no more. There was a girl just went viral a couple of weeks ago. She was on Instagram saying, I don't want a nigga if he ain't got a couple of bodies on him. So these dudes hear girls edifying this behavior and think that that's what they want. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? This is where the ball bounced. The dads are locked up. Mama's working 2 jobs. Police ain't really in it to win it. There's a cop right now. He was talking to somebody at lunch, and I overheard him say, when I turn 55 years old, I can't wait to get the fuck out of New Orleans. So these cops are just basically waiting to get out. They're not even trying, and I don't blame them. The cops are just as scared as the people that live in the city. Because mind you, when a cop takes his uniform off, he a regular dude. There's several police out here in New Orleans that say the exact same thing. They look here, bro. I'm scared to pump gas with my uniform off. I'm paranoid. My head on a swivel all the time. And the fact of the matter is, they got stuff you can do to mitigate yourself being a victim down here. But if you shoot somebody just defending yourself, you liable to go to jail. Case in point, I think this week, if y'all know this dude named Hardell Smith or something like that, Will Smith, the football player for the Saints, got into a road rage incident, and a dude, I can't think of his boy named Hardell, something killed him. He shot him in self-defense. But since Will Smith was a Saints player, they, of course, stacked the courts against him, and of course, the Saints owner showed up to court, and Hardell got sentenced to 25 years. But now it's coming out that Will Smith was a woman beater. He probably was the aggressor in the case, and they're trying to free this dude, which I hope they do. So a lot of people are fearing that if they do take defense in their own hands, that they're gonna get a charge, which I don't blame them. And New Orleans East is the worst. That's the thing. Yeah, thank you, bro. Yeah, Cardell Haywood. That's his name. Yeah, I knew Cardell was the first name. Cardell Haywood is sitting in jail right now, and now that Capitano, the old district attorney is out of office, the new DA is sitting there like, look here, I think this dude innocent, so I want to go ahead on and release him. No, Donna, Essence Fest, for what I understand, is going to be some kind of online event. It's going to be what do you call it, a virtual thing, where Essence Fest is going to be virtual. But Cardell is sitting in jail, and everybody's like, it's 50-50 on the local TV station. On the poll is 50-50. Some folks think the dude deserves to go free, and some of the Saints fans are kind of just sitting there saying, okay, I admit it. Will Smith, a big ass nigga, he's probably 6'4", probably 6, bigger than that. He a linebacker. So I mean, this dude seen this big ass dude getting out of a Hummer, running his mouth. He grabbed his gun and shot him. Because it was a simple like fender bender. Like I think Will Smith at the red light, and I think Cardell kind of like bumped the back of that Mercedes he got, and that did it. And the wife, I think Will Smith's wife is the person that shot the gun and made Cardell pull his gun out. It was so crazy. because they showed video footage, and it's really hard to tell because it was a nighttime incident, so it's really hard to tell what went down. But as far as I was saying, as far as New Orleans East, now for those of y'all that don't live in New Orleans, they got something called New Orleans East. New Orleans East is basically like a black, like Atlanta, Georgia. It's probably 75% black. New Orleans East is lakefront property, but it's where our old Six Flags was. New Orleans East got a bad problem with crime. Some of the street lights don't work. In fact, New Orleans East almost never recovered since Hurricane Katrina. And a lot of those folks who's living in them Section 8 houses and the big ass apartment complexes got to go somewhere. And the city is broke. So you have no traffic lights don't work sometimes, a couple of Popeyes, some Dollar Generals everywhere. They got Family Dollar and Dollar General everywhere. You can't go to the parking lot without somebody begging you for money. So a lot of them stores are going belly up. They're stealing, shoplifting their ass off. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just sad to see New Orleans turn into what it's turning into. And it's like every time you have an election cycle, you get the same people come out there. Man, I'm going to come out there. I'm going to fight for the city. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a Walmart to come here. Walmart came on Bullitt Avenue, and it's still a war zone out there. So Walmart is not going to change New Orleans. The people who live here indigenous. The East used to be a good spot. Now it's shit. Boy, remember the East before Katrina at the Plaza Mall? The mall was the shit, but the Plaza, you can go up in there, and I mean, they had an ice skating ring, they had a movie theater, but a lot of what's going on down here, bro, is corporate blight. Also, I remember after Katrina in New Orleans East, they had to almost beg Mitch Landrieu to get another hospital back out there, because I think once Methodist Hospital closed down, New Orleans East was done. But the reason I bring up New Orleans East is because it's 75% black people, and the biggest residential tax base is in New Orleans East. All that black owned property out there, nobody who live in New Orleans East is getting the intern services for what they're paying for. There ain't no police substation out there. It's a war zone. And indigenous can tell you. You're another New Orleanian, Baba Rassan. You hear another New Orleans, you can tell you, bro, New Orleans East used to be beautiful. Now the Vietnamese, they doing their thing. The Vietnamese they don't really own it, but the Vietnamese took over an area called Michoud. Michoud is close to the water. So a lot of the Vietnamese, they have their own police department, they have their own bank. The Vietnamese basically have turned New Orleans East, the Michoud area, into like Black Wall Street, but Vietnamese Wall Street. They ain't got no crime in Michoud. They don't trust nobody. And they got something. Here's the weird thing about Michoud is there's black folks who live in the Vietnamese neighborhoods, but the Vietnamese have kind of gentrified it, if that makes sense. So it's a gated community. I used to work at Papa John's on Crowder. That's why I ended up working at Papa John's last year, bro. I was delivering pizza. That's how dead the French Quarter was. I was delivering pizza. That's why a lot of times when y'all see me shoot videos, I've been doing videos in my car on my way to Papa John's. But I got out of there, bro. I was making a lot of money too, because a lot of folks was getting that money from them stimulus checks. And I was getting some damn good tips. But I was delivering pizza to like crack houses, hotels, trap houses. I let that shit go though. But yeah, man. So speaking of New Orleans East, the Vietnamese, they don't speak English. I actually was in a Vietnamese chick house, and they had like their own radio station, and I'm listening to this dude speak basically full Vietnamese, but like comedy or whatever. So they took New Orleans East and just flipped it. Like they actually run a big old chunk of New Orleans East, and it's very safe in Michoud. They keep to themselves, keep the grass cut. Police don't harass them. They had one situation where a girl was getting her boyfriend and could never live in the East. What you saying, Baba? You said you couldn't live in the East? You could never. I drive through the East, bro, but I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I stay the fuck out of New Orleans East, bro. It's in fact they got a whole phrase called the Beast of the East. They got some beasts out there, dog. At night on Hain Boulevard, when they be burnt, they be doing donuts and shit and burning rubber, and they be having illegal races on what's the name of that? Almanaster Boulevard. And they be having the go kart, they call it, like the drags and shit. Oh my God! Hold up, that's somebody knocking at my door. Open that door and get that dog out of here. Ooh, ooh. You can smell the ignorance. Let me shut this door, y'all. Hold up. Get that dog out of here. All right, y'all. So yeah, get back to what I was saying. And no, you can never. No, I'll tell you one thing. I couldn't live in the French Quarter either. Like people, I paint in the French Quarter. I work in the French Quarter, but trust me, you wouldn't catch me dead in the French Quarter, but at nighttime. The French Quarter is so dangerous, dude. I tell the tourists all the time that these dudes out there, they're predatory. They see tourists. And I guess that's like with any major city. If you go, Black Onyx, he said, I've been in Houston for 2 years. I miss living in New Orleans. I would come back there and there ain't no jobs. That's the thing about New Orleans, bro. You come to the city and you already got a job waiting on you. Like New Orleans is almost like Atlanta, Georgia. It's one of them cities where at the surface level, you see the jazz, you see the gumbo, you see the French Quarter, the Mardi Gras parades. But under that surface, bro, you got a whole subculture of people that's just not doing good. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, Hurricane Katrina, I mean, it's a hurricane-prone area. All right? And a lot of folks do leave New Orleans and go straight next door to Houston where my brother at, where you at, where Indigenous Warrior at. Like half my family is in Texas. I only stay here in New Orleans because I make so much money here. So I'm kind of established to just up and leave. All right. So with that being the case, I tell everybody, man, if like when an income tax season comes and you get a chunk of money from your income tax return, and you got an uncle or a cousin or somebody that's doing better somewhere else, get the fuck out of New Orleans. Because I'm gonna tell you something, bro. New Orleans has low unemployment, but all the jobs are low-paying jobs. That's what they don't tell y'all. It's Family Dollar, it's hotel workers, it's bartenders. Basically, it's a tourism city. So if you're not working on the river, or working at the coffee plant, or working at Domino Sugar, you ain't making no real money. And even if folks working at Domino Sugar in Chalmette ain't making no real money. In the West Bank, even though some parts of the West Bank, I think where Baba, where you live at, I think you in Algiers, that's considered part of New Orleans, but Greater New Orleans is on the East Bank. And there's lawyers losing work. Mind you, this is like during the virus. So during the virus, there ain't no jobs. So they got dudes carjacking, robbing, doing home invasions. And that's why you notice, like right when Trump was making all them crazy accusations, they was like, man, look here, dog, if Trump don't make it, it's gonna be if Trump don't get elected, it's gonna be a civil war. You couldn't find bullets nowhere. In the last 3 months, bullets are gone. I'm telling you, I had a lady in Houston was saying that she had 9,000 rounds ammunition because she was expecting like something to go crazy when Houston had froze up and there was no water. And she was like, well, I want somebody to come, walking through here looking to break in my house, looking for food, like to survive off of. All the grocery stores in Houston was empty. They had shit on the shelf. Niggas was eating onions to live. What does New Orleans have to offer? Nothing. Full circle. I was saying the exact same thing. New Orleans, I'm gonna put it to you like this. We had a guy came here after Katrina, Robert Sarasoli. He dead now. But Robert Sarasoli came here to be a inspector general. And he said something that was very like profound. He goes, New Orleans is a black city, right? And they said, yeah. He said, well, how come black folks don't own the majority of stuff here? He said, I've come from other black cities before, like Atlanta, Chicago, Baltimore, DC. He said, they got like some bad areas, but for the most part, you have like black firms, and stuff like that. But he said over here, black people mostly own like barbershops, beauty salons, car wash, nightclubs, stuff like restaurants. But as far as like black medical, black technology, you may have a black dentist here or there. But outside of that, there's nothing of actual consequence that black people own or run in New Orleans. And the only thing that black folks have of consequences is political pull. The person that work at City Hall, your uncle might be, like a state representative or something like that. Outside of that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else works for somebody else. The Vietnamese, on the other hand, and Michoud, the Vietnamese own Michoud. In fact, the Vietnamese damn near put the king cake business out of business. With them king cakes, they get the Vietnamese king cakes is so good, they got folks waiting outside out the door for it. But they're self-contained. That's the difference. Vietnamese work for other Vietnamese. Vietnamese actually have what's called a community and not a neighborhood. And I think black people got to understand there's a humongous difference between a community and a neighborhood. In a community, you can do all the basic. I got plenty of bullets. Nothing wrong with that. I'm right there with you, bro. I remember when Trump first got elected, like in 2016, the same gun shop that got shot up, they had people out there like waiting in line, you know what I'm saying, for bullets, because they figured, it was gonna be a race war of some sort. And then after that bullshit with South Carolina with the tiki torches, okay, yeah, so guns. So remember, that's when they were saying that the liberals are gonna take your guns away, man. And people started buying all them bullets, and I had a dude at the gun every week, every month where I live at, every month in Kenner, they got a gun show. And trust me, when a gun show dude give you his business card, you can still buy weapons off this dude after the gun show, like a whole week later. And I met my gun dude and got me some ammunition from that guy. He ain't have no problem coming to my house to sell me some. But anyway, so that's the deal, man. New Orleans East, it could have been like the crown jewel of New Orleans, but the problem is there's no willpower for the people that live in New Orleans East. They had to beg the city to get a hospital, to get a clinic, like that urgent care. I only come to New Orleans to visit, then I roll the hell out. I had a friend of mine did that shit. I got one of my friends. He came from from Florida somewhere, and he came to New Orleans, parked on the side of the road, bought something from me, and just drove off. He said he did like a drug deal type of situation. He said, "Well, I came to New Orleans, I performed my medical procedure or some shit. I'm gone." He didn't want to stay. He physically didn't sleep overnight in New Orleans. He came that morning, got like some kind of operation on him, met me, bought the artwork, and peeled off and went back to Florida. Like he didn't physically stay to eat food or nothing. And that's the sad thing about the city, is that we got a big ass brain drain. And a brain drain, I'm sure you know what that is when a lot of people who actually graduate college leave the city and go somewhere else better. New Orleans got that problem bad, where everybody go to Tulane, they go to Loyola, they go to LSU. And I don't mean like as far as football. I mean as far as anything else, medical, anything as far as technology. The city don't have tax credits to offer nobody to stay here. There's no technology here. And the sad thing about all of that is, had Ray Nagin not have Hurricane Katrina happen to him, New Orleans would have been off the fucking chain. Because Ray Nagin was this close to getting high-speed rail from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. He had Wi-Fi. He was gonna get spring water. The man had he awarded 2 black garbage truck companies the trash collecting contracts. Remember that? If y'all from the city, they had this dude named Sidney Torres started a company called what was it called? That was Sidney SDT Waste, something like that. And he wound up owing the city like $2 million extra. So it is what it is, y'all. New Orleans just I hate that what's happening is happening, but it seems like the crime just keep on getting worse on a daily basis, dog. And just when you think, like it's gonna subside, another crazy situation that happened where somebody get carjacked, pumping gas. One dude, they had a full-blown shootout on the interstate, like fucking Bad Boys when they was throwing them bodies out the car. These dudes really think they're living inside of a fucking rap video. And that's sad, bro, because they shooting women and everything. In fact, where I live at, right across the highway, and at Baba, you know where I live at? I live with a bingo hall at, where they play bingo at, going to the airport. And I'm not laughing because it's ignorant back there, but I'm gonna tell you something. They shot a girl 5 times. Then, and 2 streets over, another girl threw a baby in the canal. Just got tired of the baby, got tired, mad at the baby daddy, and threw the baby in the canal. And I don't know how this child survived, by the grace of God. And they try to say she had mental problems. Like, you only had no fucking mental problems. She had issue with the baby daddy, so to punish him. And it was another baby girl. So how you expect these kids to grow up to be leaders and to be upstanding citizens with parents like that? You seen these kids, man, in Walmart, mama grabbing them by the hand, and Baba and indigenous. I don't know how indigenous and Black Onyx. I don't know how long it is since y'all been to the city, but y'all been to that Walmart on goddamn Gentilly Boulevard. The Gentilly Walmart is so fucking ghetto. There's literally 6 police in, not outside, physically 6 police in the store. That's how bad it is. It is off the chain. That bitch. They shot a manager, God forgive me, last year. The manager asked the girl to put a mask on. Bow, shot him. Another dude put a mask on, shot him. So these, New Orleans, it's just like, it's sad, bro. And people can blame that shit on COVID or whatever, but New Orleans has always had that issue. Ever since like 1990, like when Partners in Crime, Mystical, and Cash Money Records had first started, New Orleans was always like that. Shit, even Lil Wayne got shot in the chest as a kid. New Orleans has always had the issue. But it's just that it's the criminal justice system as a whole. The cops don't give a shit. The judges don't care. Slap on the wrist, house arrest. And most of the dudes who out there who doing it, most of the crime have the ankle bracelet on when they get caught. I remember a couple of years ago, they had they carjacked the judge. Remember that shit, Baba? Judge Marullo, he had got carjacked. The little dudes was so like inexperienced at carjacking. They let the judge go, and he had like an $8,000 Rolex on his hand. And they asked the judge, like, why you wasn't scared? This is gonna kill you? And the judge like, nah, I see these little kids all the time. And he goes, as a matter of fact, the one that let me go, I let him go 2 weeks earlier. He said, I put the same dude on house arrest who carjacked me. He said, how crazy is that? So that goes to show you that house arrest don't even work. They carjacked the same judge. One of the dudes carjacked the same judge that gave him house arrest. The judge's like, wait a minute, don't I know you? I just gave you house arrest 2 weeks ago. Oh, my bad, Wody. Got in the car and peeled off. And mind you, it was an old Mercedes, like a Mercedes that was like maybe 10 years old. But the judge is an old white man. He don't really, need like an upscale Mercedes. He got the same car that he been driving or whatever. So it's sad, y'all. Like I said, man, I always want to go ahead and do a video about this because I've been getting so many phone calls from people, because of New Orleans was a super spreader city. Mardi Gras was actually good, and the police did a damn good job. I give the NOPD credit as far as them keeping Mardi Gras safe. There was no gunshots, no gunfire, no robberies. Literally, Mardi Gras was safe. They took Bourbon Street and shut Bourbon Street down. You couldn't go to Bourbon Street unless you had a reservation at a restaurant. Outside of that, you couldn't go sightseeing. They didn't mind, you taking a cell phone and poking your head and then taking a picture of a ghost town. But Cantrell, she made sure you wasn't getting drunk in New Orleans for 6 days. She said the shit. She said, and she did it good. She made it to where you couldn't buy no liquor from Friday all the way till Ash Wednesday. So they had people in New Orleans tweaking. But what they did was they went to Metairie, where I live at, and got all their liquor and just brought it back to the city. Now what's happening now is where I live at in Metairie, we gonna still have new Mardi Gras, but they pushed it back to like September. At that point, they figured you should be vaccinated by now and all that kind of stuff. We have a vaccination site where down here in the city, we just made it to where you can be 16 people 16 years old can get the vaccine now. Even if you on and that's but you got to be somebody who either smoke or has some kind of comorbidity to get the vaccine. So I just go to show you, man, like the city is off the chain, bro. And mind you, we have a certain part of New Orleans where it's really weird. Since we're a big city, we have something called the Greater New Orleans area, where even though you have New Orleans proper, you still got the East Bank of the Mississippi, the West Bank of the Mississippi. You got Kenner, you got Chalmette, you got Metairie, where I live at, and you got something called Laplace. All that's considered the Greater New Orleans area. Every city I just named, somebody in Laplace, Chalmette, East Bank or the West Bank, they either drive to New Orleans, come to work, and they got to drive to go back home. Okay, so a lot of times you have a certain situation where a beef will start in Kenner, but it'll end in New Orleans. For example, the first story I talked about, the dude who got killed trying to sell that bike on Facebook, he lived in New Orleans. I'm sorry, he lived how he pulled it off? I think he lived on the West Bank. So the little 20-year-old dude killed him and put his body in New Orleans. So now the Jefferson Parish Police Department trying to figure out who's gonna get jurisdiction over the crime, because it started somewhere else, but it ended in New Orleans. And you have a lot of situations where people who don't live in New Orleans or come to New Orleans commit crime and go back where they come from. All right. So that's what's going on down here, man. And Canal Street is a motherfucker, bro. Canal Street, man, is so out of control. It's just blighted property, dilapidated buildings. A lot of businesses doing belly up because of the virus, because of coronavirus. Ain't no foot traffic. Now, don't get me wrong. Every weekend, this past Saturday, Cafe de Monde had a line out this world. I mean, a line like a block long. So I go to show you that the foot traffic is picking up, and a lot of folks is flying back in town, but airport traffic ain't really that busy. But the sad thing about it is, on top of that, a lot of folks ain't coming here because they're scared. A dude just got knocked out, got punched like the knockout game. That was in the situation, but it was a big ass convention had took place, and it just so happened that the man who was in charge of booking the conventions got punched out on a sidewalk, and ironically enough, it was on tape. So that gave New Orleans a black eye. The man said, "Look here, bro, we bought a $2 million convention here, and I got knocked out." And the man sitting there begging him, "Please, bro, it was a really, like a one-time incident, like a freak accident. Like he didn't know you was the guy that booked the convention. It's just a young dude that's running rampant, looking for some easy money. And folks are just tired of being targets. But like I said, they don't really want to kill nobody, because they might get arrested just as easy as the person that's committing the crime. I'm just like any other human being. I love the Second Amendment. I'll kill a nigga in a heartbeat. Oh, Peanut, what's up? What's up, big homie? Would you give me some arrows and a turtle? But yeah, man. So it's crazy, bro. It's looking like, like the churches are doing well as far as packing the church house and getting that tithe money. But outside of that, the churches ain't really doing anything effective. I said this when I went to the last panel at UNO. They put me on the stage, and I told them the truth. I said, bro, when I was growing up, we had a preacher named Reverend Coleman. Reverend Coleman had a gun. Reverend Coleman didn't have no problem going on the street. And he told a lot of us, he pulled on the road and see me and a dude named Dundrell. Me and Dundrell are best of friends now. But Dundrell had me in a headlock. I couldn't fight back then. But he broke us up, and he made us like say, I'm sorry and all that kind of shit. And me and Dundrell, I've been to Dundrell wedding, you know what I'm saying now? So we the best of friends now. But them type of preachers don't exist no more. Them type of leaders don't exist no more. Not in the city. They're looking for a Bentley, for a Gucci purse, and they're looking to sleep with all the girls in church. So the people that I had growing up are gone now. Either they ain't got a better job and move, or they just gave up. I ain't trying to lose my life trying to, break up a fight. I ain't trying to lose my life sitting there trying to feed the homeless. Most of the home and the thing about it is a lot of the people that's committing the crime don't really stay here. I didn't even know that. One of the cops told me that there's a hotel. And if you from New Orleans, it's a hotel off of Chef Highway. He said a lot of them dudes are traveling across country and they'll just stop, do some dirt at the hotel, and they'll figure, well, let's go, go to the city and go sightseeing. And some shit might transpire. They'll do some dirt, shoot the place up, get in their car, and go back on the road again. So it's the connect. Meet my connect in New Orleans. He might show me a good time, might not, might insult me, something might go down, and then they're gonna cause a riffraff and just leave. Case in point was that girl from Florida who shot Bourbon Street up. Shot two dudes, one 14, one 15 years old. Now, here's the thing. Nobody still knows why she did it because she ain't talking. And that's the sad thing about it, is that we were sitting there talking to the police because I work in the French Quarter, so I'm part of like the French Quarter like the business association. So they're always asking us questions, and I say, well, I understand you got a curfew issue, but why was some kids out there at 10 o'clock at night? I even seen babies in a stroller. Somebody had video, and somebody always like videotaping Bourbon Street or going Facebook Live with it. I can't begin to tell y'all. If y'all don't live in New Orleans, Bourbon Street is extremely dangerous to be on. Peanut, tell him. Dude, remember that Chinese dude that shot up Bourbon Street? God forgive me. This motherfucker was on the balcony of a nightclub. If y'all been on Bourbon Street is it's got a French design to where all the bars and businesses sit on the bottom row on the first floor, and the owner of the business lives on the top. So the balcony that faces the street, they rent out the balcony so you can throw beads at girls or whatever. There was a Chinese dude, and I think somebody he was throwing beads at some girls, right? So maybe a dude took a bead and threw it back and hit him in the face with it. So instead of him like taking an L, he grabbed his gun and just shot into the crowd and hit 8 people on some beta male shit. Of course they caught the dude like maybe 8 months later, or like it was a long time. But when they caught, I was like, damn, I totally forgot about that. So it goes to show you that it's just too unpredictable for you to take your family out there. And that's the issue that the police is dealing with. But the sad thing about it is I don't really see that public safety is a priority to the police department. I really don't. And I'm honored that when I go to the gun range, I do see them older black ladies in there with them guns. I told you, I done seen some Medias in there, bro. And they got some damn good aim. And they be like having like the movie. Remember the movie Girls Trip? Is like that. It'd be a bunch of black chicks who don't look like they gun fanatics, but they have like purses full of like 9mm, Ithaca 37s, AK-40. I mean, they be loaded with guns. And these girls be like, well, these beta male dudes be hitting on them, catcalling them, and they get more and more, fearful of all these beta male dudes who can't take no for an answer. So, it's getting to the point where these girls, man, just taking, I guess, the law into their own hand, which I when my daughter get older, I'm gonna tell her, don't be scared to put a hot one in somebody's ass if they come after you. A girl just got killed, shot her 5 times. In fact, they just shot another girl in the East. They found the dead body. Trying to find out it's a dude who liked the girl from her job, and he followed the girl to her house because she rejected him at they worked the same job. So and part of the rule was you can't really date on the same job. He followed her home. But by the time they put the story together, of course, they already had the funeral and everything else. So, it just goes to show you, man, like the crime in the city, man, is like out of control because it come in all like stupid shapes and forms. Lately, it's been because people not want to wear no mask. They don't want to wear a mask. They don't want nobody telling them to wear a mask. In fact, unfortunately, it was a black dude. Again, with dreadlocks, for some odd reason, they always fit that same profile. Black dude, dreadlocks, don't want to wear a mask. Me and a girl got into an argument on Channel 4. In the Channel 4 comment section, kept on telling me is a Joe Biden supporter, all that dumb shit. I said, no, it ain't mine. That's some Trump people doing that. But let me ask y'all a question. Anybody, any of y'all seen Coming to America? I liked it. A lot of people, a lot of my best friends, they liked it. You know, a lot of the critics hated Coming to America. But let me tell you something, bro. Wesley Snipes killed that shit. I don't care what nobody say. It wasn't as good as the first Coming to America, but Wesley Snipes did his thing, bro. I didn't know what to expect. But here's the thing about Coming to America, though. It was actually based off of a book called The Quest. So I was wondering when they was going to say, well, we got a new Coming to America coming out. What would be Akeem's reason for going back? You know, he needed motivation. At this point, he already got a wife. So why would he be going back to Coming to America? I never seen one. Oh, damn, Donna, what rock you been under? Everybody and their mama done seen Coming to America, especially part 1. Part 2 just came out on Amazon, and one of my friends gave it to me on bootleg or something. I watched it like a little DVD of it. I liked it. I mean, and it was so good to see everybody looking so, you know, like looking so good, because everybody that was in Coming to America aged well. I mean, Eddie Murphy had a little gut. You can tell he got a little heavier, but Arsenio Hall looked good. James Amos and even James Earl Jones was still, looking good for his age. I mean, he probably in his late 80s now, but he still was, he still made his cameo, And everybody was talking about how it was more of a family-oriented movie. It wasn't as nasty and raunchy as the first Coming to America, but you can't really capture lightning in the bottle 2 times. The problem that Coming to America had is that Coming to America was never ever meant to be a series. It was only meant to be a one-off movie, and I liked it though. But that's it, guys. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I gotta help the kids with their homework. I'm logging off. Peace and love and chicken grease. Ooh, yeah, man, it's out of here, y'all. Anyway, guys, hit like, share, and subscribe. I'm out. Peace.